Okay, we got excellent. Let me see if it's and we are live. Okay, I do know what I'm doing. Okay, so um sorry, for those of you who don't know, producer Ian is not here, so I am doing everything. So, welcome to your week 5 review for the Gainesville event in PCH and your week 5 previews for DCMPs in both the South Carolina and Georgia district. Um, First, we have before we get started, we have to make the usual disclaimer. Any views or opinions shared on this show are solely that of the individual contributor and do not reflect the views of PCH Pit, any FRC team first, Georgia first, South Carolina first, or any of their affiliates and sponsors. So, the idea behind this show is to serve as an FRC talk show that focuses primarily on the Peachtree and South Carolina districts. We're going to be talking a lot about a variety of topics, so don't be surprised if you see us drop some hot takes. Ultimately, we're going to provide some entertaining and engaging discussions. With that being said, I'm your host and producer tonight, Thomas Priego. I butchered that. Um, Thomas Priego. I'm the head strategy or only strategy or I don't know, whatever mentor for Team 1833, Team Bean.
I'm Brian Carlson. I still remember my name and title, unlike Thomas. I'm with 6829 at Night Robotics. I'm an electrical mentor there.
And then I'm Joshua Drake, aka Pongo, and I'm also a strategy mentor and drive coach for Team 343 Metal in Motion.
With that being said, we do have to quickly review the Gainesville event in PCH. Overall, I had the privilege of attending 2 out of the 3 days at the Riverside Military Academy, where it was, for lack of a better term, and I wish someone else was here to say it, but being kind of walked in, walked out, and just left everyone else in their wake. And it really became pretty evident really early on, despite some early struggles in their first match, that Bean was the team to beat at the event. It became a really interesting race to see who Bean was going to pick. And without going into any specifics, ultimately Team 1683 was selected to play with Bean despite a hard-fought race between them, 4189, and I believe 10482, all fighting and vying for the number 2 seed. As for and this is only getting brought up because a bunch of people asked. 1683 was ultimately selected, despite them being neck and neck with Team 4189, because of some greater strategic depth that them being turret allowed Team Bean to have. Outside of that, it was a really, really close race. Then once we got to elims, it became a dogfight. On one side of the bracket, you had the 1 seed making it and appearing to relatively easy make it into finals. However, on the opposite side of the bracket, it quickly devolved to chaos. With ultimately, I believe, the 5 seed captained by I know they were captained by 1414. I can't remember exactly what seed they were. Yes, the Alliance 5 captained by 1414 ended up meeting Alliance 1 in the finals. As the strategy mentor for Team Bean, that was honestly the matchup that scared us the most due to the lights out defense played by 3-3-4-4 across all of their matches. Alliance 5 might not have had the same raw offensive output of Alliance 2, captained by 4189 in their first pick, 8080. However, 3344 was effectively able to just neutralize the best scoring robot on any and all alliances. In fact, they ended up winning and beating Alliance 2 making it to finals by trapping 4189 in their home zone, not allowing them to go back with a full hopper and score, and which 4189 I believe scored 0 points in the last 50 seconds of their final match, which they ended up losing by, in the grand scheme of things, considering how many balls get shot, a relatively small margin of only 28 points. Overall, it was quite the Alliance 1 ended up cruising in finals, winning, having, I believe Fun said, finishing with an average margin of victory of 240 points, but overall showed some interesting things as we go into DCMP. Noticeable teams made a step up, and not to try and bleed into the preview too early, but 10-4-8-2, 14-14, 41-89, 16-83, 80-80 all showed marketable improvements. 63-40 as well going into DCMP. And with it being back-to-back weekends, really a lot of teams, I feel, kind of could use this as a springboard or a tune-up event to kind of ramp into states. So it'll be interesting to see how a lot of those teams compete. Other things of note, Team 1683 completed the gold cling bling at Gainesville, winning their Impact Award and the event. Which I'm sorry, I kind of jumped the gun. The winners of the event was the Captain 1833, first pick 1683, and their third bot 3815, the NF Raiders. Of course, Techno, as I just said, won Impact. EI was won by 4509. Are they the Mechanical Bulls or just the Bulls? They're Mechanical Bulls.
Mechanical Bulls.
Out of Lanier High School. Completing their second medal award, having won Impact at Gwinnett earlier this year. And Rookie All-Star was won by my favorite rookie team, 11174, the Denmark Danes out of Denmark High School. Other than, I feel like I've given a quick review of the Gwinnett event. Is there anything else that you guys watching that I might have missed?
The one thing I really was excited to see BuzzBots and what they did with their bot putting in a swerve drive and everything, and really going strong through the competition. I know that they were sort of bit a little bit with Gwinnett and not fully understanding the line selection rules, and they went out and they put the points up. And I think going into the competition, I think PCH or FRC Locks had them at almost at 0%, and they basically proved that wrong and did really well.
Yeah, and it was super cool talking with them. I believe they went from a full passive hopper to actually having driven rollers on the floor. So that was super cool. And like I said, I think there were remarkable improvements. I know this was the hardest event. Was a really fun event to go and a hard event to scout. And I think with what we've seen at both this event and at Albany, we should be really excited going to DCMP. So with that being said, I think it's time to stop beating around the bush and let's start going into our previews of the DCMP variety. I'm trying to juggle too many things at once. The DCMP
it's
variety.
Just one mouse.
But it's like 8 screens. Like I have the stream open, I have OBS open, it is a lot. I don't know how Ian does it. I'm sorry, Ian. I'm sorry. Please come back.
He's a witch. That's
He's
why.
He's a witch. He did it. Anyways, with that being said, and another tangent aside, let's go into our DCMP previews. Traditionally, we've done it PCH first, South Carolina second, but today we decided to give it a bit of a shake up and go do South Carolina first. So, Josh, why don't you give us the 411 on South Carolina at DCMP?
All right. So this weekend in Anderson, South Carolina at the Civic Center, 32 of South Carolina's finest will be duking it out with a lot of parity between who will actually take it home. There are a considerable amount of teams that are all near the same level as each other. And it really is whoever plays better on the day, on Saturday.
Thomas,
Are we back? Are we back? I accidentally
It says
clicked
we're
the
on air
Wi-Fi
again.
router. I'm so sorry.
there's a live
guys hear me
stream.
now?
It's Thomas.
Oh,
Hello?
we have
I
the on-air
can't.
thing again, so I think, but we
Okay,
can't see
so-
or hear Thomas.
So how about this? Finish up your round table, and
All
Thomas
right.
talks enough, right? Let's go.
All right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
No.
can hear you. All right. So I'm going to just put this up into locks, contenders, and dark horses. So my locks are going to be Robots Garage, Team 4451,
Why can't I hear
and
you? What is
the
going
Due
on?
Westerners, Team 8575. Both teams have won events. The Due Westerners have won multiple events, and they have also shown continuous improvement in their consistency, their throughput, their driving skill, pretty much everything. They have gotten better every single time, and they were, in my opinion, the best robot in the state the last time they competed. I don't expect that to change. Now with 4451, they haven't competed in, I believe, 4 weeks coming into this event, and they did win their last event. They have shown off a new intake, I believe. They have an incredible throughput the last time they were out. If they can fill up their whole
Okay,
hopper
why can't
and
I
empty
hear
it, we can. If they
Thomas,
can,
don't talk. We can hear you.
if we can, if 4451 can, improve on their intake and fill up their whole hopper and empty it all at once, they will be a very scary team. Now for the contenders, I'm actually going to put Team 1287 in there. I'm going to put, where did they go? I'm going to put Team 6366 Ramrods in there. I'm actually going to put Team 11, or sorry, I'm going to put Team 342 in there as well. For 342, their robot is so close to being one of the top in the state. They have an amazing throughput. They don't have the ability to fill their hopper all the way up, or at least the last time we saw them, they did not. But whenever they shoot, it goes into the hub, and it's like 8 shots in half of a second. It's a beautiful throughput. 1287, they won their last event. They played with the Due Westerners, and they are a very consistent dual shooter. They have a good intake, good autonomous. I believe they score the most. But I'll put them in the contenders. But their throughput is the best in the state. They have the rolling floor, dual shooter. I believe they're trying to turret it, but we'll see if they actually do. But the amazing throughput, great driving, good drive coaching, just great team to play with as well. They were actually our alliance partners at our most recent event that we played with. And then as for the dark horses, I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit. I'm going to say the dark horses of this event are every single well-driven Everybot and Kitbot. All of these teams are capable of filling up the human player station if driven well. And in our district, that is worth a lot of points relative to the robots on the field. Some of these robots actually have amazing throughput. Like they can just they can shoot like 20 balls in 2 seconds as long as they can like fill up their hopper. Some of them have like a lot of scoring potential. And then apart from those Kitbots and Everybots, my other dark horse is actually going to be Team 1319 Flash. They have a full width, I believe a fixed angle shooter I believe they get up right up against the hub and they just throw up a bunch of fuel. And whenever they're driving well and whenever their shots are going in, they can put up a ton of points based purely just on throughput. So it'll be super interesting to see what actually happens at the event. I am super excited for the strategical depth of this event because last time South Carolina played, an Alliance 6 ended up making it all the way to the finals with, I believe they had 2 kit bots. They had one on a swerve drive and one just like every bot kind of design. So that was an amazing alliance to watch. So we'll see if that trend continues with super deep strategic depth. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah,
Oh.
1 second. For some reason, I fixed the me hearing you issue, but now Brian, you can't be seen. Or heard. So
Oh.
can you do me a favor of like leaving and rejoining the call? For those of you who might not know, I kicked my Wi-Fi router. And as a result, everything that was working broke terribly and catastrophically. Because fun fact, apparently Wi-Fi routers don't like being kicked. And Brian's back. This is the worst Peach Pit episode ever. Like
So far.
no, like in totality.
That's
This
okay.
is so bad.
Waffle House afterwards will fix everything.
Dang it! Now I can't hear Brian. I fixed it. Like I don't know. Now it auto defaults you guys to being muted. It's like, it's terrible. It's so.
It's technology. You should figure it out.
Yeah, I'm just making sure we're all good. Can someone in the chat tell me, can you still hear us and see us, or am I gone insane? Anyways, PCH preview. Yeah, if we like Josh was saying about South Carolina, we definitely have a very, very interesting event coming up on our hands. We have the defending champs, team 1833, 1771, and I believe did 3815 end up registering? Let me check. Oh, not 3815, 3318. They were defending champs. It looks like they did not. So it looks like it was just they didn't quite qualify. So it is teams. Just 1833 and 1771 are here to defend their district crowns. Of course, we have some with DCMP coming along. EI and chairman's is now handled differently. It's with EI, there are 5 teams eligible to win 2 coveted EI slots at this event, with 4509, 4188, 2974, 1683, and 6925 all duking it out for a silver medal and a ticket punch to Worlds. On top of that, we have 5 teams also competing for the Chairman's Award. When in PCH, we also give out 2 of those with 7451, 6919, 1683, all vying for it, on top of 4509 and 4188, who also, as mentioned earlier, have previously are in contention for EIs. Overall, there are 5 award slots going to be 5 slots overall that will get your ticket punched awards at Worlds based on awards, with Rookie All-Star also being awarded and being fought over by 2 teams, 11174 and 11214, the Denmark Danes. Overall, it looks like it's going to be a very, very stacked and deep event. We have a myriad of teams. Your contenders overall, I would say the team to beat, and Brian, can you say it so I don't look like I'm tooting my own horn? Who would you say is the team to beat at this event?
All right. So, in a first in the PCH district, I will say this: it came close one time before. Thomas, you recall this quite clearly back in 2022 when 1771 came in almost undefeated. They had one loss back at Dalton to Thomas and I, or we were playing together back at that one with 1746 and 6829. But this year, for the first time in PCH history, we have undefeated team going into DCMP, team 1833, team Bean, and there, if you look at any stats, they have a healthy lead across everybody else. So they will be the team to look out for, and pick me, right?
Yeah, but please don't do that. That stuff, it started when we were loading it at Gainesville. It was concerning. Like, it was like, brother, we haven't even played a match yet. We might not seed one.
Our whole
And-
shooter could fall off. You never know.
Like, and then our shooter did, and then our entire robot didn't work in our first match, and we won because the human player. We love you, Taylor. We love you, Nikhil. We're just goated with it. So please.
By the way, if you would have lost that one, I was gonna razz you like crazy.
Oh, and I would have deserved it. With that being said, there is a really, really robust upper crust if midfield of teams. And I'm going to try not lose my voice here. But other heavy contenders, it isn't as, I feel like this is the hardest event to predict in a lot of ways, because it's not a guarantee that Team Bean or a team seeds first. Like last year going into DCMP, it felt like, all right, 1833 or 1771 is going to seed first. Bish, bash, bosh, move on with our lives. But this event, if Albany has taught us anything, it's that we can't really do predictions. 1002, 1771, 2974, 1833. I trying to think. 6919. These are all teams that could seed first at this event. Like it isn't. It's going to be match schedule. It's going to be who plays with who plays against who. It really is a wide open event. The openness, I think, will be kind of curtailed as we get into some of like how this strategy is going to play in and change as we get into DCMP. One interesting bone is I think it's less likely that we see a scorch scenario at this event than we did at previous events. It's important, and teams, I hope at this point with 5 technical issues and a bunch of tomfoolery, you're still watching us. But it's important that teams understand the energized threshold. So that's your first RP. So not 2 RP, not the supercharged, but the energized, the first one, has gone up from 100 balls to 240 balls. And this is across every district championship in the world. So that's California, PCH, South Carolina, everybody at DCMP.
I thought it was just in Georgia.
No, it's everybody is going to have to earn 240 balls just to get that first rank point, which will make it a little bit or significantly harder for a lot of teams to solo it compared to what they were able to do in previous district events. So, in a lot of ways, I think it makes it harder for there to be some sort of unpredictability. But there's a whole bunch of other teams and combos that could easily get that 240 or even 360. 9477 looks electric with their previous bot, and the rumor mills are circling about them potentially having a snazzy new rebuild going into state. 1683 is a proven event winner and Stone Cold Killer. 4189 is another team that has shown flashes of being a top tier robot, but has had some minor consistency issues throughout the year. And 1648 won their first event and has struggled since. So there's really a good crust of teams that can all push and make it higher. There's already been proven combos that do not involve 1833 or 1771 that have been able to get that supercharged RP. I think they're going to be a lot more prevalent. So you're going to need to be on your game and prepared as we get into alliance selection. With that being said, I think strategically we're going to see and this jumping forward in the document, I think we're going to see a minor strategic shift as we go toward DCMPs, with there being a higher prevalence of triple offense especially in quals, and I think defense is going to come a lot sooner. It's going to be a lot heavier, and it's going to be a lot more effective as the amount of teams, almost every team that is at state is going to be a well-driven, well-constructed robot. So I think the effectiveness of defense is going to go up and the prevalence of defense is going to go up. And you'll see it interesting as we get into elims, an interesting dichotomy of the lower, quote unquote, lower, or not quote unquote, but the lower seeded alliances being able to get good quality third bots that enable them to do and search out a triple offense, while the top tier, the top end of alliances will end up having to select defense bots and to see how that interacts and how the meta shakes up. I think this is probably the most wide open district champs has ever been, maybe since 2023. So for all parties involved. And I think that is going to be the interesting strategy to watch, is see what wins. Last time this was tried, 201D lost and 000 won. So it'll be interesting to see how things shake out.
Yeah, I would like to
Yeah.
point out that just because you pick a triple offense alliance does not mean that you won't be playing any defense, because there's times in the game where you can't score at all. So specifically, I'm super excited to see what like an Alliance 5 at our state champions will be, because their third robot will be a swerve drive most likely, and there'll be two like solid scores and a swerve drive defense. And like, let's say like one of those first two robots on Alliance 5 just plays defense and doesn't care about hurting the fuel, and they let the third robot do that, and suddenly you're having to deal with double defense against an Alliance 5, and you might not be able to keep up yourself, because a lot of the robots, at least in our district, like we don't have very many turret robots, so a lot of our robots are very easily defended.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing in PCH. We do have a higher prevalence of turret robots, with I think Walton 1771, 1683 all have turrets that operate at a high, if not semi-high level. That one was for you, Howard. But
Good's not good enough.
Good's not good enough, but also shoot on the move has shown a lot of these teams have not shown a complete mastery of shoot on the move. So them are very, very, very still, I would say, very defendable. Also being able to play defense on balls. And I think if you're going to the opponent zone, you need to be able to get at like in and out fast. I think 3344, and I'm just going to keep saying their name over and over again because they are in my nightmares, are just awesome, stone cold lockdown defense, and be able the ability to lock a team because you have the inside line on. You can see, you have a better view of if you're trying to lock someone in, you can see their robot before they can see their robot. And so you can almost move it. It puts them in a lose-lose situation where if they can't go in under the bump, they're kind of harmed.
Do you go under the bump?
Yes.
I don't. We go over the bump.
Yeah, but it causes an issue where
no.
You can
you go under a trench.
Yeah, or
Deep breaths, everybody. Deep breaths.
Anyways, going under the trench. But like you can either challenge a team to go over the bump and end up getting beached, or you can go under the trench and get stuck. So like defense is going to be really, really hard. You are going to need to go into the opponent zone to get balls, because I think we've started to see in other regions where ball starvation is a thing, where you just kind of hoard all the balls and then like dump them all at once and say, well, you got 20 seconds left. Good luck.
Shout out 294 from California. I watched your whole event. Beautiful strategy the whole time.
Yeah,
If
and
any of you guys are somehow watching.
they're not. I only say that because I can see the analytics of where people are watching from, and no one's watching from California.
Hey,
Sorry. Anyways, like it does look like the state championships is going to be a knockdown drag out for all parties. I think it'll be interesting to see the number of rebuilds in PCH. I think we're at confirmed 2 with Lambda. I might be leaking stuff unintentionally, and in which case I'm sorry. But with Lambda and I think Ignite having rebuilt, I don't know. I've heard rumors.
I
I've heard
I heard rumors too.
sprinklings.
I'm not sure about Ignite though.
Oh
I'll
well,
find out when I get there.
yeah, I've seen the video, Brian. So anyways, I think DCMP to not get too big in the weeds and to prevent me from leaking stuff I shouldn't leak. Oh, 4026 confirmed rebuild as well. So that's another third one. So it'll be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're another team that's I just completely forgot to mention that is very high
Yeah.
up on my list because there's just so many. There are oodles and oodles and oodles and oodles of teams.
So if I did something very interesting with StatBotics. So if you get a second, go to StatBotics and go to the bubble chart and select everybody and look at 2026 and look at previous years and how that bubble chart looks. In previous years, you had the masses, right? Not all the contenders at districts and at worlds, but the big blob was very elliptical shaped, right? And it depending on, sometimes it might be logarithmic in shape or linear or quadratic or exponential, I should say. But this year, for this game, it's not elliptical. It's linear and it looks like a pencil, right? So it's a very long, long elongated uh, bubble there you see there. And what that really means is people are just getting better and better and better. The simplicity of just shoot ball, pick up ball fast as you can. The engineering challenges is in the details. So, and as nowadays with open alliances, teams are able to start, small ideas, changing their robot and getting better. And so there is a strong field in PCH. We've talked, Thomas and I, we talked before, we think right around 225, 230, that range in there is going to be like the cutoff to get to Worlds. And often, right now we have 9 teams that are over 100, right? And usually those are the contenders going in. And yes, there are probably 5 of those are pretty much, they have to really have a really bad event not to go. But it's the last 3 slots that we're going to have, people is down into the 80s can actually make that, right? So this field is really deep, and sort of going back to that triple offense, right? It was in 2023 when 1746 had no shot to go to Worlds, and they were in a triple offense, and they made it, right? So
Yeah.
Rest
this
in
is
peace,
going to play
us.
very similar.
Yes.
We lost to that alliance in the finals.
And going in Ignite, we felt we were in a good position and we were first out, right? So that goes back to, in this type of event, which is similar to 2023, everybody controls your destiny. If you go in and you execute, you're gonna, and if you will go far, and you will be able to control your ability to go to go to Worlds. That's a so. Yep. So it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it.
With that
Yeah.
being said, I think it's time for the Peachtree Districts, at least my favorite part of Peach Pit every year, is I think this is what my 4th annual or 5th annual pre-DCMP Peachtree District top 5.
Oh, they're all wrong, but go on.
I've been proven right every year, Brian. I am the biggest, like, you can make fun
Legend
of me
in your own
all
mind.
you want, but I got it in here.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so with that being said, I do keep this secret, so 1 second. Let me get the notebook. All right.
You got Robots Garage first to take PCH, right?
Yes, there.
They
Orbit.
could.
Orbit is actually coming down. We've been telling our kids that Orbit's being allowed to compete in DCMP this year, because they're district. But anyways, page 5. All right. So with the commencing the 5th annual Thomas Priego's Donut Shop Review, not sponsored by anybody. You can't buy my vote, just my words. Anyways, number 5.
If you want
Also,
to, please try. I'll take donuts too.
yes. Anyways, with the number 5 in my personal power rankings going into DCMP this year in the Peachtree District, I have Team 6919, the Commodores, coming out of Albany, Georgia. They have, I think, the most blue banners out of anybody in the district, with 3, having won at Dalton, at Columbus, at Albany, and then winning Impact at Albany as well. They're a well-driven, well-practiced machine and a proven contender and winner in the district scale. They are an overall phenomenally driven robot, and and quite frankly, at their growth curve is exciting and scary. So huge shout out to them, but they are number 5 currently on my power rankings. Number 4, and I think this is the lowest I've ever had them, is going to be Team 2974 Walton Robotics. Having a slow start at the beginning of the year at Dalton, where they finished finalists as the first pick of the 2 seed, Walton really began to show their mettle at Columbus. Really, I think posting the event high score and starting to push and put out some serious output. They have a really well-driven robot in every event. You can really see if they follow the pattern that they followed in previous years, where they've been able to utilize the field, their field, and just become more and more well-driven. I wholeheartedly expect them to take another step up into DCMP. But currently, I have them as number 4 on my power rankings. Number 3 is going to probably be, if you asked anybody at the Shock this year where this team would have been, none of them would have said number 3, and that's Team 1771. Despite them coming out strong and having a strong showing at Gwinnett, so at Albany, serious reliability issues and concerns kind of crept in, with them being, when they're on and in contention for the best robot in the district, but when they're off, they're very decidedly off. However, if there is one robot I don't want playing defense, it's them, because Christopher Wilson and their driver, I believe Khan, they know how, they have followed their tradition of 1771 quality defense, and they can really shut you down. So there'll be another team to look for, and they are number 3 in my power rankings. I will say this comes with a caveat that if they work, all bets are off. They could potentially be number 1. Then, as we get to number 2, I would say this is probably the biggest glow up Peachtree has ever seen. It's going to be Team 1002 as double event winners and really taking that big leap forward. They're the team I really see as the one that could and should push Beam. Having seen some leaked footage coming out of the DE field, They are a team that is definitely one to watch and one to look out for. I think, depending on schedule, they could win the elims and the RP race against Bean. And despite the Statsbotics having an EPA gap, they are really the team that I would say is number 2. Now, before we get into number 1, some honorable mentions. I would like to add our team 1683, Techno Titans, team 4189, the Robo Chargers, and team 4188, the Columbus Space Program. And without ado, number 1, Brian, can you say number 1 for me, please?
Number 1.
Oh, well, I hate you. Anyways,
Sorry. Team 1833, Team Bean.
So yeah, I again don't want to they with an EPA that's 100 better than the next best in the district. It's kind of hard to argue that they are probably the best robot in the district going in. But like I said, and like we've said before, this event is open and up for grabs. It's by no means a foregone conclusion. So I think as we it is getting late. It's about 11 p.m. and some of us have load-ins tomorrow. So let's. I think good luck.
Hold on. We can't even comment on your list.
Oh well.
Ooh.
You're welcome.
Come on.
All
yeah,
right,
because you're
on my
wrong.
list, Brian.
All right.
I'm
So here's how I change it up. All right. So first off, all those teams I believe are locks to go to Worlds, right? They have to have serious issues where they're not going. They're all very good. The I trust in 1771, so I would have them at number 2, just because I think they've had 2 weeks to address their issues, and I expect them to find them and fix them. The other thing I would, part of this is how do you want to play the game, right? And with Walton and 1002, they're going to probably play different games when it comes to DCMP, right? 1002 is going to just put up points, right? But one of the things with Walton as a turret, they have the ability to start clearing centers, right? They have the ability to start reducing your potential score. That tied with a field that they can practice on and get a lot of drive practice. They've made great improvements. By the way, yes, I saw 1002 this past Saturday, and they were looking really good. Right. So this is not a knock on 1002. I just think as strategy shift, I think somebody like a Walton 1683, that turret is going to give you some flexibility that teams are going to need.
Yeah. I'd agree with you there, Brian, though my list is correct. So
yes,
wrong.
You agree, although you agree that I'm also wrong.
Can I real quick do a South Carolina top 5?
Yeah, go for it. There are no rules.
There are no rules. That is true.
Except in the chat, there are rules.
So I'm just gonna really quick list off who I personally believe are the top 5 robots that I would want to play with and would not want to play against. At number 5, I'm gonna go with Team 6366 with the Ramrods. Only because of their consistency issues. They had some problems with their CAN bus disconnecting and being unable to drive at their last event, but their throughput and their driver skill and their autonomouses are all really good, and they could, skyrocket up in these rankings. At number 4, I'm going to go with Team 1758, the Technomancers. They are having a bit of a breakout year, honestly, and I'm kind of upset that I haven't been able to mention them so far. They're another dual shooter, super consistent, and they've been really consistent robot all year around. And that consistency combined with like decent strategy or solid strategy could like propel them up in the rankings. Number 3, I'm gonna go with 1287 Aluminum Assault. They did win the most recent event. again, very consistent dual shooter, nice driving, very similar to 1758, just a tier above. At number 2, this one might be a little bit dramatic, but I'm gonna go with 4451 Robots Garage. Now they do have a defending state champion title that's pretty hard to go against. And they have had 4 weeks to work on their robots since the last time that we have seen them. But I do believe that their the size of their hopper combined with no turret, and the last time we saw them, their intake was a little bit spotty. Does hold them back from that number 1 spot, which does go to Team 8575, the Due Westerners, who, I mean, they're kind of having a breakout year, but they've been just kind of on a nice linear progression season after season. And this year they've really nailed it with their simplistic design. They're just the most consistent team in the state. Every single time they go out, they put up their points that like they decide to, basically. No one really stops them. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing them play again, because I'm to be honest, I'm a fan. I love their robot this year.
Alrighty. Well, with that being the case, I guess we will. Are there any final thoughts between y'all before we all head to bed?
My phone's about to die.
Yes, which is why it actually, fun fact, I found out if I can see your battery level of your phone. through this
What?
thing.
That's
2%.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, it is at 2%.
Yeah. So we got to go before Josh Turbo dies. So with that, are there any final thoughts?
Nope. Looking forward to seeing everybody. It's going to be a fun weekend.
Yep, it's going to be fun. Look forward to seeing everybody. If you want to, feel free to come say hello. I don't know if this student is still around, but there was a student who asked me to take a picture in a mellow mushroom a couple years ago. So if that's you, you're more than welcome to take a picture again, just not while I'm eating. And with that, we will end the show as I figure out how to end the show.
Push the button.
Your stream will stop immediately. Oh, no, I need to end. Not yet. End stream here. And
I'm just going to go dark in a second.